Alright everyone, Cowboy Trades here. Welcome back to the channel for another update on This Week in Crypto, the news series where we discuss everything going on in the crypto and equity markets in 5 minutes or less. There's quite a few important news events coming in this week, and this week is really going to shape the way the markets move for the rest of the year and coming into Q1 of 2023. If we're looking at the week after that, we don't really have new Fed commentary, we don't have new inflation data, and more importantly, we really don't have too much economic data of any significance. So this week is going to be extremely pivotal and maybe one of the most important ones this year. Let's discuss everything that's going to be happening. So starting off on Monday, we have a US 10-year note government bond auction. For the past couple of months, this has just been absolutely racing to the upside. And if we do look at the lower time frames on the daily, you can see the government bonds are setting up in a nice bullish pennant right now. The price target is really exceptionally bullish, up at 6.1%. I don't think we're going to head that high for the government bonds, but nonetheless, a breakout of this would definitely be very nice. If you don't know how the government bonds affect the rest of the market, government bonds go up, it increases the strength of the DXY. A stronger DXY, it results in a weaker S&P 500. A weaker S&P 500 is bearish for the rest of the equity and cryptocurrency markets. Now, Tuesday, this is where things really start to spice up. We've got US core consumer price index year over year and month coming out, and of course we've got headline inflation month over month and year over year coming out. I'm going to talk about my inflation nowcast in just one moment. Let me talk about the rest of the dates that are coming out. I do also just want to say I've been seeing over on Twitter recently, people have been saying inflation is coming down, or more specifically, people have been saying the CPI is coming down, and that is not factual. If we're looking at CPI on an index scale, we're no longer looking at an annualized year over year. It is not coming down. It is actually at the highest levels it's been. The last reading we got in October was 298, which was higher than these previous ones. So bear in mind, year over year inflation may be coming down because, most of that aggressive inflation we saw about a year ago has started to curtail, but inflation is not coming down. Inflation is still slowly grinding to the upside. Just wanted to let you know that. But coming on to Wednesday, of course, after our CPI reports, we are going to have a Fed decision in terms of the interest rates. Now, a lot of people think we're going to get a 50 basis point increase. I personally don't think so. I think we're going to get a 75 basis point increase. The reason for that is because my inflation nowcast is higher than the forecast and consensus in general. So how have I got to this decision? How have I decided that the CPI is probably going to be hotter than expected once again? Well, let's come over to the US Cleveland Fed nowcast. Now, we've previously looked at this chart quite a few times. I really do respect the Cleveland Fed's opinion on inflation. The reason being, look at the past year to date. In December, January, February, March, April, May, and June, they all underestimated inflation. July and October were the only months that they overestimated inflation, and August and September, they hit the nail on the head. So if you're looking at this and pricing inflation in slightly higher than they're predicting, most of the time you're going to hit the nail on the head. And at this moment in time, the forecast for headline inflation is coming in at 7.3%, and the Cleveland Fed says they think it's coming in at 7.5%. And if we look at core inflation's consensus is 6.1%, and the Cleveland Fed believe it's going to be at 6.26%. So I personally believe my opinion lines up with the Cleveland Fed. Now, with this, how do you think the Fed is going to react to, once again, inflation on an index scale pushing up to new highs, and of course, year over year starting to push back up to the upside? I think that 50 basis point isn't going to happen this month. I believe if it's going to happen, it's probably going to happen in January. I do think the Fed are close to kind of moving towards a 50 basis point increase, but nonetheless, I still think we have another 75 basis point increase before anything else. And I would like to highlight, a lot of people seem to think that a 50 basis point increase would be bullish. That is nonsense. You would need the federal funds effective rate to curtail to the downside for any sort of bottom to appear, because we need cheap financial conditions to do this. So if we come over to the interest rates, you can see elevated interest rates during the 2007 subprime mortgage crisis, elevated financial conditions during the 2001 tech stock bubble, and elevated financial conditions right now in whatever type of shitstorm you want to really call what's happening right now. Unfortunately, you can't just call it one thing. Unfortunately, 2007 subprime mortgage crisis, tech stock bubble. Right now, everything is a lot more complicated. I would need like a paragraph to explain what is going on in the markets right now. But you can see when the Fed actually pivoted over here, the bottom wasn't in. When was the bottom in? The bottom was in when cheap financial conditions were back, and then that's what caused the bull run. Over in 2019, we moved to cheap financial conditions. How did the markets react? Massive rally up to the upside. What happened after the 2000 tech stock bubble? They decided to lower the interest rates, and it took a while to come back to accommodative monetary policy required for another run back up to the upside. So this notion that a 50 basis point increase is bullish is wrong. The notion that not increasing the interest rates at all is bullish is wrong. We need to have a few months, and it's going to take a while. It's not like the Fed is going to lower the interest rates by 500, 600 basis points all the way back down to cheap monetary policy. It's going to take months and months and months and months and months to come back down to cheap financial conditions required for that next leg to the upside. So it's really all I wanted to talk about for this video, my friends. This was just a news update, so I'm going to try and get a separate video out for my updated thoughts on the S&P 500 and Bitcoin very, very soon. Bear with me on that one. If I can't get it out tonight, I will be getting it out tomorrow. So that's all I've got for you for this video. Like I said, these news updates, they don't get uploaded every week or every month. I really upload these news series updates whenever there's something super, super important to talk about. And like I said, this week, with everything going on, is going to be one of the most important weeks in the market that we've had in the past year. If you do enjoy this quickfire content, make sure to let me know by leaving a like, comment down below, share the videos with your friends. As always, my friends, cowboy out, peace.